Eleonor Bindman, pianist, recording artist, and transcriber of Bach, speaking on imagery and music making.
Imagery is very important in music if you want to have any kind of a convincing interpretation. If you want to have something to almost latch onto for a piece that gives you confidence, that gives you a way of presenting a piece. To me, playing any instrument is a lot like acting. After you get through learning a piece, you need to be able to say something with it, or at least to try to imagine what was the composer trying to say. So visual imagery can be extremely helpful, which is why many composers, as we know, throughout history were always inspired by paintings, by going to the opera and hearing a singer sing beautifully, by nature. Beethoven liked to take his nature walks. You see all these photos of composers, walking in the mountains. So it helps me greatly because it puts me in a certain different state. Because if I'm starting to play a Morning by Grieg, let's say from the Peer Gynt Suite, and I'm thinking, oh, here I am sitting in my Brooklyn apartment playing the piano, it's going to sound different than if I imagined, oh, I'm in a Norwegian forest and it's morning and the sun has just risen and there's little dewdrops on the grass and so even when I talk about it, I get in the state of wonder, which is what you want to project. So there's that kind of imagery. And if you're playing a piece by a classical composer like Beethoven or Mozart or Haydn, for example, there's different imagery. I mean, I sometimes think about the movies, Amadeus, I think about people in wigs, I think about the royalty, I think about what they wore, how they danced. And another thing that's not quite imagery, but it's very important for inspiration when playing is tone color. So you need to imagine orchestras and other instruments, which is also imagery, but it's more audio imagery, right? So they're not images, but the type of sound you want, you could be greatly inspired by just listening to other instruments. So it's imagination and imagery. It's very important to imagine something before you start playing, in most cases.
Beginning in just a week, I will be offering free webinars on ear training strategies, patterns in composition, and training tools for memorization featuring Eleanor's transcriptions called The Stepping Stones to Bach. You can receive notifications by registering on www.pianotechnique.guide.